Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well. Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast.
Good evening. It is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025, and this is a meeting of the Exeter Sustainability Advisory Committee. And I am forgetting this again. Do I need to call the meeting to order?
Yeah.
Or ask?
Call to order and introduce members
Okay,
present.
but it's not a motion.
Nope.
So I'm calling the meeting to order. And my name is Denise Short. I'm the chair. And tonight we have Sarah Koff. She's an alternate. Do I need to say that? And be not an alternate today?
Sure. Yeah.
That was very official. So,
You just did it.
yes. And Jackie Ojila.
Yep,
Yay.
got it.
And Chetna Palmer. And then we have Kristen Murphy from the town and Dan Chartrand, the select board representative. So here we are on a hot evening in July. So the first order of business is public comments. And I do not see any other members of the public here, and I don't see anything online. So we move on to approval of minutes from our last meeting, which was on June 4th. And those were distributed in the meeting packet before the meeting. Did anyone have... Oh, so do I have to ask for a motion to approve the minutes?
I found the minutes to be very accurate to what happened at the meeting, so
Okay.
I had no revisions.
And,
Just ask my name be spelled correctly.
oh, yes. Where, I'm not looking at. Where is it?
My second name is P-A-R-M-A-R.
P-A-R-M-R.
M-A-R.
So how do you pronounce Parmar? Oh, and I said Palmer. I'm so sorry. All right, we will make that correction. Any other notes, additions, corrections? All right, so do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 4th meeting?
As amended.
And any discussion? And do I need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. All right. There we go. We approve the minutes from the last meeting. And now we move on to the team fall equinox tabling. So at the last meeting, we had talked about getting a table with the Energy Committee at the Fall Equinox Festival that team sponsors. And according to the minutes, I was supposed to reach out to Scott Ruffner, and I have not done that. So I will, unless somebody else would like to do that, I will add that to my list again between now and the next meeting. And then the other part, does anyone, oh, I'm just going to look up the minutes because it had a nice little list of what was, there we go, what we talked about. All right, so reaching out to team to reserve a table and finding out if it costs something. In terms of developing table supplies, I think we have materials that Kristen has from the Alewife Festival. I don't know if we could, I think we talked about having maybe a laptop or a video or something, maybe showing what the styrofoam, because this is, sorry, I don't know if I said that we talked about tabling with the Energy Committee, and we would focus on styrofoam, the machine that we're getting, and the styrofoam collection, and Energy would focus on the window dressers. So I think it would be cool for our part of the table to actually show a picture of what is the styrofoam densifier, what does it do? So that is something, I don't know if we need to nail that down now or just remember that that's part of what we want to do for that table. And we have time for ideas about what else to put on the table. Anything else about that? Table supplies. So in terms of the other note we have here is identify a time frame for when the densifier will be operational and when the town would consider expanding it to other towns. So the Equinox Festival, I think, is September 20th. So is it possible that by then we will know more about when we might actually be getting the machine?
Yeah, we should have a decent sense, I would think, by then.
Yeah. I mean, people have been asking me, and I've just said sometime this fall, hopefully.
Yeah, so we're redesigning the transfer station itself to improve flow. And so first that has to happen, and the layout is being worked on now by Public Works. And then, the densifier is ready for us whenever we need to get the electrical hookup installed. And then we're good to go.
Do you know about how, I think we talked about it before, but about how big is it?
I would say it's like, I don't know, 16 by 10 maybe.
So it's like size of a small yard shed.
Yeah. Yep.
In the redesign of the station, are there other things being added or taken away?
No.
I'm just curious.
No, just to improve flow, because right now you pull up on top of the little raised ramp,
Yeah,
and then you have to back out into traffic
right.
to leave. And so the goal is to change the direction of that, so you drive up and then out, just to improve flow. And then, there's a variety of different sheds and structures all along, and so those will need to be modified to fit the densifier box.
Yeah.
So it'll be a station along that arc. Are they talking about covering the cardboard with some kind of permanent structure?
I don't think so.
Because that was part of my vision for
Yeah.
the 50,000. Should I put my 2 cents in on this?
Sure.
With
With
who?
Steve, I would say.
Steve Cronin.
Cronin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will-
It's covering the cardboard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because right now there's a removable, there's a canvas cover. And often it's not open because it's not easy to maneuver. It has to be covered or the cardboard that we're collecting becomes worthless if it gets wet.
Right.
So I was hoping for something that was more of a permanent cover that would allow people to always put cardboard in there, not just when it was opened.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah.
talk to Steve.
And Steve is aware of the desire to have it covered. I am, not to sidetrack us from the planning of the table, but I did reach out to RPC because there is potential funding from Waste Management. And so to make this a regional styrofoam program, we really need some more supplies. Because the town is a customer of Waste Management, we're not eligible for these grant funds, but Rockingham Planning Commission might be. And so I'm hoping to supplement our funding for in addition to the container that comes with the styrofoam densifier. Ideally, if you're a regional program, you also have a storage container. Because when you have these big drop-offs, something's
Yeah.
not processing as fast as it's getting dropped off. So we need somewhere to put those materials.
Yep.
And also some of those super sacks, the big sacks that
Yep.
we put, those are, 20 of them is like $500. So, maybe it's possible that that sort of cover could be added
Okay.
to that,
I'll follow up
to
with
that
Steve Cronin.
request. Okay.
That sounds good. In the, just out of curiosity too, in the redesign of the flow, is there any, I suppose everything takes energy and funding, the signage for, or like how we publicize what's there and what's available and where things go, just thinking about publicizing it more, and when people go there, that it's very obvious. I'm just thinking that I mean, to me, that sounds like an intern project or like a volunteer thing for somebody to do.
Just to follow up on that, you're not wrong. People are often putting things in the wrong places. So
Yeah.
there's the wayfinding to
Yeah.
what goes where could definitely use improvement. I don't know if that's part of the plan, right?
Yeah. I mean, that,
Sounds
I
like
realize
they're
that's.
just trying to eliminate the backing up.
Yeah,
Because that can take most of the money that was allocated.
it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, that's important, so
Yeah.
that's good that that's happening.
Yeah.
So maybe some grant funding for better wayfinding and signage as well. So
Yeah.
getting a permanent cover for the cardboard and getting additional supplies for our styrofoam recycling operation and just better wayfinding and signage.
Yeah. All right. Anything else under the tabling for the Fall Equinox Festival? And so our next meeting is in August. So I think at that meeting, we could maybe focus on publicizing that, If the Equinox Festival is in September, our August meeting, we can talk about, okay, how are we going to make that, like, who can be there at the table and
Yep.
how to tell people that this is something that we're doing, to talk about things that the town is doing, which also would require connecting with the Energy Committee about their window dressers component of it. Okay. That is that, which moves us, I think, oh, I'm out of order. Okay. Item 5 is the committee e-news content. So we had a nice meeting with Bob Glowacki, is that how you pronounce it? And Amy Farnham from the Energy Committee, and we talked to him about the idea of having a regular spot. Yeah, thank you for the word. On the weekly report or somewhere on the Exeter TV, and he's very open to that. And we talked about putting something in the newsletter that goes out with it, and that is the extent of how far that got. So there was no follow-up after that meeting. I meant to reach out to Amy, and I haven't. So I guess, I don't know, is anybody interested in working on that piece? Maybe somebody who's not here on the committee would be willing to do that. I mean, I think it's a great idea, but it needs attention put into what would that be composed of, and could we get a few ideas? We talked about the magnet that Sarah had designed, and using that as one of the spots to really publicize what's going on in the town, and here's what you can do with all of these different types of waste to keep it out of the waste stream. So I guess just needing to follow up, that's just another item to follow up if someone wants to, or I will follow up and ask if someone wants to put some time into that.
I can do it.
Yes? Okay. That would be great.
I think leading off with, the creation of Sarah's graphic is a great first thing to get to them
Yeah.
to push out. I've been using that. I actually stuck it up on my refrigerator right by my door on the way to my recycling area. And I've actually, it's cleaned up my plastic recycling. I keep looking at it and going, oh, I can't recycle this. It goes in the trash. So it's a very effective little organization of information. You're good at that. Yeah, it's helped me a lot, and I think it would help a lot of other people. So pushing that out would be great.
Okay. So focus on that as
That would be the first thing, yeah.
thing, and then we can get some momentum after that.
Because it costs us when people put the wrong things in the recycling stream.
Yeah.
So that would reduce cost, theoretically.
That's actually a good point to bring up with anything that we do when we talk about, why are we recycling styrofoam and why do we have all these things that we want you to put them different places? It actually saves money. It's not.
It saves money to take things that we think of as recyclable that aren't and put them in the trash.
Yeah.
Because if it goes in the recycling stream, we get charged extra.
Yeah.
So I did put that graphic up on the town's website, and in the past with Bob, for the e-newsletter, once we have a name for this news bite, whatever, it's really just like a sentence or two and a link to the website. So it's a pretty simple
Yeah.
effort to develop the content.
Yeah, it's not as onerous as it feels.
Right, yeah. It's not, for the e-news, you don't have to record a video, and you don't, it's a lot easier.
We need to come up with a name for it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's like the hardest part. I mean, you just said a bite. That makes me think about like a food thing, a bite, a sustainability bite, or I don't know. We can think about that too, if anybody has any clever ideas. I'm not feeling especially clever at the moment, which is okay.
Maybe if Chetna, do you want to brainstorm with me? Like maybe we come up with 5 topics, and I can put together an online vote or something like that, and
Sounds
involve
good.
Energy Committee as well. Okay, like a
That's great.
committee member vote, not
Yeah.
a public vote.
We don't want the town to vote.
Well, I mean,
We'll never go there.
something about too many cakes in the kitchen sometimes.
Thank you. That's a good idea. All right. That moves us on to July 19th, which is the next styrofoam collection event, which is very exciting. And Jackie and I were just talking about, because she went to the one where it was really cold, and then the last one was really rainy. And so I'm thinking, great, I bet we're going to have a 100-degree day. And then we'll have to finish up with snow. It's a season of styrofoam. So what do we need to do for that? We've got I've been seeing it a lot and sharing it on social media, and apart from this, I have another group of Exeter people who I meet with, and we're talking about sustainability, and I shared that poster with them, and they're sharing it into their networks and might print some out and share them. So if everybody can publicize it, that would be great. And who can be there, actually? We could do a poll. I will be there.
I'll be there.
I can be there for the first hour.
Ah, that's great.
I can be there.
Okay.
I got it.
And you will not. You will be far away from styrofoam. Hopefully. I wonder if there's styrofoam.
Sure there is.
Probably, yeah. Okay. So what else do we need? We need a truck.
Yeah, so even before we get to that,
Okay.
ideally having someone who has a pickup truck or something that can carry big bulky items.
Okay.
We need to pick up
The bags.
super sack
Okay.
from Guilford.
Okay.
Last time, I think a Jeep was used and it barely fit. I think Nina was a little nervous. and
yeah.
wasn't able to take them all. I used my car the prior time and we only got 11.
wow.
So we really need, they
pickup
get
truck?
big and bulky, or something, or a van, I don't know, minivan or something.
How many are they being picked up?
So I think we should try to get 25.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
How far ahead can you pick them up?
We do need to coordinate it. It depends how many other, what am I trying to say? How many other collection events they have going on. And so I can find that out. I don't have, before it was like a week ahead of time was okay. Usually they finish their collection events on the weekend. So that week prior to the 19th should be okay.
Let me know, because I have a minivan.
Oh,
I can go
okay.
a week before, yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm leaving on the 18th, so if it's any time.
So you can go the weekday. Okay, great.
That would be great.
I'll check what dates are available, or do you want to give me a couple dates? And I know Mondays they're closed, so that's out, but
Just let me know.
okay. All right, great. And then the other thing that I feel we need to do a little bit more work on is signage to promote donations. Someone, and I can't remember, it was someone from this committee suggested, I thought it was a great idea to have the donation sign right where people are dropping their styrofoam off rather than, the routing around, because they're kind of focused on getting to the drop-off point then, or maybe we do it at both or something along those lines. So we do need some more signage, and I would love to work with someone on thoughts for what it should look like and what it should say. Sarah, that would be great. And then in terms of the truck, I'm still working this out, but Chetna, you had suggested reaching out to the academy and coordinating a student move-in date. I also asked, hey, by the way, do you guys have any box trucks? And Warren Biggins did say that they do have a truck available. They would drop it off on Friday and pick it up Monday. But since the Guilford transfer station's closed on Monday, he is checking to see if they can be without it for 2 days. So I don't know yet if that's an option, but it's still a possibility.
They're not open on the weekend, on Saturdays.
The academy can't drive it on Saturday.
Got it.
And they're the only ones that can drive the vehicle.
Yeah.
So
And Keith's no longer available.
Keith is injured.
Yeah.
He hurt his
pretty-
back pretty badly.
seriously,
Yeah.
So I have not bothered him about that. I think it's a long drive, and I
Yeah.
feel like we can handle it with a rental if this falls through. So
Okay.
kind of that's my mindset.
Sounds good.
But Warren was really excited about collaborating for the move-in date. So
Oh, that's awesome.
That'll be really great. I think that's
Nice.
a great idea.
So diverting styrofoam
From the students, yeah.
as they move in.
Yep,
And
That's
that's in
fantastic.
September?
yes, yeah.
That'll be a massive amount potentially of styrofoam coming off of that move-in.
It's exciting,
Yeah.
So, all right, so I'll work with you, Sarah, on signage.
So the academy is considering partnering with us.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's really good.
yeah, and for them to offer the vehicle to leave it, I was just really
Yep.
floored by that. So.
It's fantastic.
So we have some logistics to work out. It's a possibility. And if it doesn't work out this time, maybe it will in the future if we
Yeah.
have another one before the densifier's in.
Great.
And the donation is just to, how is that framed? To ask
Yeah,
people
so-
to
To
donate?
pay the cost of supplies, right?
Just,
The cost for transportation.
Yep.
So
And
we gave a
supplies.
gas card to Keith last time.
yep,
And that was paid for out of the donations.
No. So, yeah, we,
yep,
yeah.
all right. That's a good
I think
idea.
we have $28 from the last donation.
Okay.
That my thought is rental car, gas,
Yeah.
something along those lines.
And the thing is, I think people ask, when I tell them about it, they say, oh, does it cost anything?
Yeah.
So I think there's a willingness to pay something.
No, but we accept donations
Yes.
to defray the cost of the program.
And I think it's perfect to put it where they're dropping off the styrofoam, because half the time they're just sitting in their vehicle while we're surrounding it and emptying
Right.
it out.
Yeah.
So,
How did we like logistically take donations?
Yeah, so cash is what we, I don't know if we could do a Venmo or something like that. I don't
Like, I just
think
feel
so,
like
but
that
we
might-
had to get.
Yeah.
We did have to go to the select board and get permission to accept donations, so that's all above board.
Okay.
If the donations are over $100, there is a form that we can provide if they want it for tax purposes. Yeah, so,
Could we accept like Venmo or something electronic?
how to do,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like,
I mean, I think it's easy. It just like if it would be fun to like, I have an account, I could take the donations and give cash or a check.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue, is it?
yeah.
If there's no issue with it, I'd be happy to do it, but I think we might get a lot more money just like I don't carry cash
Yeah.
with me often, so
So that should be incorporated into,
the signage.
yeah, I can send the like there's a QR code. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, to me, that's
Yeah.
even more documentation than cash. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I think it's okay
Okay. Yeah, if that
if you're willing.
definitely. I'd be happy to do that.
Is the donation purely because we have to transfer it to Guildford? So when we get our own densified, will we still be wanting donations?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Will people need a permit to drop the styrofoam?
We're still working the
Yeah.
logistics out. Yeah.
yeah. There's different opinions,
There is.
but we're working on it. And I keep
Yeah,
telling
that
them,
would be great because I feel like that's a problem too. Like, I don't, who carries cash around, you know? So,
people without Venmo accounts. Like me.
Like the firefighters, when they collect
yeah.
at the bandstand and they have a boot and people put cash in. But if if there was Venmo, I think,
Yeah, like I just don't always have it on me. If I was dropping off
Right.
styrofoam, I
Right.
would be happy to, but wouldn't necessarily have.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's a
I'll
good
send you
solution.
That would be
and with the Venmo, people just hold up their phone.
No, they just transfer it.
Oh, no, they transfer it. That's right. Sorry. So you would
They
just
just have an
have
app.
your name for the Venmo?
Yeah, I can collect
Can you
it.
set up an account with another name?
I don't know.
There might
It's
be
like
some-
tied to your bank account,
Yeah,
so
there might be some logistics for the town to do that.
Oh,
So maybe long-term, but probably not
Yeah.
by July
July
19th.
Huh.
So this is a good solution
Yeah.
for the meantime.
okay.
cute.
yeah, no problem.
Cool. Anything else about styrofoam?
What time do you want us there?
You know, I really think 8:30 is plenty of time. You know, it seems like Wayne, no matter,
Is he
I
gonna- he's
really
gonna do
tried to
that?
get there before. I asked Kirk, to have him tell me what time he's gonna be there. He told me, and I got there even before, and he had already got there earlier. So I feel like when we come early, he comes even earlier. So I think 8:30.
That's how he rolls.
Yes, yeah,
Well, we'll just let that be.
yeah.
All right, I'll be there at 8:30.
Great.
Yep.
Awesome.
Fingers crossed for good weather.
Yeah.
Do we
true.
think we have enough people, or should we? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll have enough.
And I think
So who
there might be
is-
some other people who aren't here tonight. Julie,
Yeah, we did hear that we did a poll last time. So actually,
Jim might be back.
yeah, they didn't say that they were available, but maybe he'll be back. Yeah. Julie was not available, and Sarah, you're not available. Is that
I
right?
am for the first hour now.
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
before, but now
Oh,
I
okay.
am. And also
Okay.
my 12-year-old, so.
Oh, okay. Great. And what about transport? Is anyone available to transport if it turns out we're renting a truck?
And that would happen what day?
That's, if we're renting the vehicle, it would be that Saturday.
It would be that day.
Yeah, so right at 11, we load the truck, or, we're loading the truck all day, but right at 11, we head out.
To Guilford. And
To
how long is
I
the-
can do that.
It generally, I had been getting home around 3:30 or 3, and you're about
So-
30 minutes more-ish.
So
Yeah.
it's about a 4-hour round
Yeah.
trip. Okay.
Do you have to have a truck driving license? No, 'cause it's not-
So we'll just, if we rent the vehicle, there's a 16-foot truck that we would rent
Okay.
from Ryder here in town.
Yep.
So, so in the morning, maybe I'd go over, drop my car off at Ryder, drive the Ryder truck to Public Works.
Okay.
And then return it.
I can see if I'm available
Okay.
to do the transport as well.
Okay. It really is, it's not help driving, it's really once we get there, having more hands to get all
unload
the
it.
bags
Yeah.
unloaded and out, otherwise that's a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah.
For one person.
Did we contact any removal companies to help, whether they have a truck that we could use?
I've not contacted, if you know,
I
someone.
I talked to somebody at some truck place on Epping Road that I drove by one day, and then I called them and asked, and they never got back to me. I talked to somebody there, and then was supposed to follow up and never heard back from them.
Yeah, I think that was Ryder who.
Was it?
Yeah,
Ryder.
because didn't we talk about truck sizes? And-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought their name was something, well, maybe it's a Ryder truck, but they call themselves something else.
Could be, it's on the left heading out of.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
All right. On to the solid waste subcommittee. And I just put that on the agenda because we haven't talked about it in a while, and I know. So maybe just so it doesn't fall off, because we had talked about a tour at some point. So maybe that would be in the fall sometime.
Yeah, because it was cancelled, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because,
it was, Jay, yeah.
being ill.
And now it's so busy.
Yeah.
Ideally, doing it on a Wednesday would be great, because I was hoping that DPW could also observe processing at Guilford. But it's-
Yeah. Well, we can talk about it at the next meeting. And when is the town's solid waste contract
2026.
up? Is it 2026?
It's next year, yeah.
Okay. All right. Heavens, that moves us to other business.
I don't have anything.
Nothing? All right.
Could I say one
Yeah.
idea that's not,
Yeah.
it's just new?
Yeah.
I was thinking about like ways to engage the public, and so they know about us a little more, and they are more seeing our posts about the styrofoam or whatever. And I was thinking about the idea of like a contest, which would be very easy to do. Something about our theme, which is like maybe composting or maybe like pollinator garden. But like something where like take a picture of your compost and we'll decide a winner or something. And just to engage people. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts about that, but I've heard of a compost contest before. Yeah.
It makes me
Take-
think of the dog contest they have where
Yeah.
people take a picture of your dog, when you get your dog license.
Take the top off your bucket and show us your compost.
Yeah, no, I have seen that. Some town had that, and it was cool.
I would do that.
Yeah, I would do it. It's sort of weird.
Yeah.
to see the top of the compost.
Yeah, I don't know,
to
just
see it,
like to promote composting, and this is
Yeah.
what it is,
Here's my
obviously.
table scraps.
Or of your recycle bin, like recycle right.
Yeah.
Show us all the stuff that, or I don't know. Yeah,
Something along that.
yeah.
Theme.
I like it.
Take all the beer cans out before you it's like,
Match the recycling or the compost with
the lifestyle.
something.
The lifestyle.
Can learn a lot about people that way.
I think, like we talked about at the last meeting about Plastic Free July, right? It started
Yes.
yesterday, and their website is so useful in terms of, getting people to pledge. What is it that they're going to do or make a change in their month of July and then carry on. And there's different sort of ideas. I'm going to stop buying plastic bottle shampoo, and or stop using single-use plastic bottles, whatever. And there's all these sort of different pledges that people can make, and I just think that to promote as a committee, for us to promote, those kind of challenges, on a consistent basis would be really useful to engage with people, And I think it's the resource is there, plasticfreejuly.org, and they have such amazing, ideas.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
And that, I think, would go well with what we're trying to do with the e-spots, too. Like, that would be a easy thing where you talk about taking a picture. And, so then the next report, the Exeter TV report, can, show the pictures and show the winner. All right, so how do we move that from an idea into actual action?
Well, the idea of a contest could feed into one of our newsletter or, media spots, or
Yep.
both. And it kind of raises the awareness of the committee, but it also raises the awareness of our goals, and gets more people to buy into, doing the things that we're making available for them to reduce their solid waste stream.
Makes it cool.
Yeah.
Are we cool?
Yeah, we're cool.
Also, I think like the styrofoam event, right? If people are if people have their phones, just get them to say, if you're on social media, if you use Facebook or if you're on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, just get them to film a little bit of what they're doing, and then get them to post it and tag the committee or whatever, and DPW. Just
How about-
We should ask Bob to show up
Right.
on the 19th.
Or we could make a video too.
Yeah.
Like, I
And create-
would
Yeah.
be happy to do a little footage, make a reel.
Show us your styrofoam, your wackiest styrofoam packaging thing. Maybe not.
I could see that being a fun video of the team putting the styrofoam in the giant bin. I mean, there's
Yeah.
some footage there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I think that should be done. I can help with that.
And we can ask Bob to come out on the 19th. And-
on the
Oh,
19th.
even better.
Yeah,
He could make it a
Yeah.
spot. Yeah. A news,
if he's available, or someone on his team is available, so.
that's
We-
a good, that's
yeah.
a better idea.
And even asking, a couple of people come round with their styrofoam, just asking them why they're doing it, or what, how long have they had their styrofoam stuck in their garage for?
Right.
How many years has it been sitting there waiting for
Right.
it to be disposed of, or have the facilities to recycle it, right? Just to get some ideas as to, and show the different types of styrofoam.
Yeah.
I have
That's
2
good.
giant pieces that I dumpster dove to pull out of the transfer station dumpster. I'm very proud of this. Been sitting on my porch waiting for the 19th.
Next thing you know, the committee is going to be spotted driving around Exeter on trash night, peering into recycling bins, pulling out styrofoam.
Couldn't resist. I had to do it.
all right.
Stephen Jordan looked at me like I had gone over the edge. It's like, what are you doing?
All right, so let's start with the styrofoam. Who's going to ask Bob if he's available?
I can do that.
You want to do that? Okay. And and then I love that idea about show us your compost. Or there's a lot of potential fun.
Would it be a 91A violation if I sent everyone on the committee a photo of my compost bucket currently? That's a meeting.
These are challenging questions.
Yes. I don't think so, but anyway.
All right, well, that was excellent other business. Thank you, Sarah.
Slightly messy, but good other business.
Yeah. Sustainability can be messy. All right, I think that might bring us to adjourning, for goodness sake. So do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion.
Chetna, motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sarah, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.